Hey everybody, welcome to episode 102 of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com. Let's not waste any of your time. Let's get right down to your questions about the world of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, men in tights pretending to hate each other, whatever you want to call it. Let's get right down to your questions. How can WWE possibly be blaming The Miz for low Survivor Series buys? I think it's obvious that the real reason is fans are just not as excited about The Rock being back as they thought we would be. Well, how about the fact that at the go-home edition of Raw before Survivor Series, all they did was mention Twitter? How about the fact that The Miz and R-Truth were booked as inferior to John Cena and The Rock, and maybe if they were portrayed as more of a threat, perhaps the buy rate would have been better? No, those aren't the reasons. Of course, WWE is not going to blame The Rock. They're not going to blame John Cena. The Miz, he just happened to be a guy who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was the fall guy, and that's just the way it is. WWE is going to make every excuse in the book other than the obvious reasons, and that's just how WWE operates. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Watching DDP TV, he mentions that during his match with Sting, there was only a minute left, but the referee told DDP for another 5 minutes. Is this a testament to how bad WCW is run, or did it happen on a regular basis if the crowd was still hot? This was something typical of WCW during the time. They had so many production glitches, and the left side had no idea what the right side was doing. So many people have talked about this, and you could see it on TV. I mean, there was one edition of Thunder where when they opened up the show, they had Nitro's music playing. And then there were times when the camera guy was still filming even though the show hadn't gone to commercial yet. Lots of incidences like this, and yeah, I mean, WCW just a mess, to sum it up. There's no really other way you can put it. What do you consider more important as far as title reigns go? A long title reign, i.e. Hogan, San Martino, Backlund, or multiple title reigns, i.e. Rock, Austin, Triple H? You can also add Ric Flair to that, by the way. Not knocking any of these superstars at all. Just curious what you thought. I think what's important is that it doesn't really matter how long a guy is champion or how many title reigns he has. What matters is, does he come off as credible as a champion? When you put the belt on him, is this guy seen as the top guy in the wrestling industry? So I think that's what's important. You don't want to put the belt on somebody who the fans don't see as a top guy. I think that's what it comes down to. When you can do multiple title reigns, you can have the guy hold it for a long time, but the fans have to believe that that guy is the best performer / wrestler / whatever in the world. I don't understand why WWE continues to allow The Miz to be called the most must-see champion superstar of all time. I thought his title reign sucked, his in-ring work and mic skills don't stand out, and he acts like a pretty boy douchebag. WTF. Well, apparently some people in WWE feel your sentiments, and I'm sure if you've been following No DQ, you know that there's a lot of heat on The Miz right now, and people think that he's kind of lost his passion after his push ended. And the thing about The Miz is he worked really hard for a number of years to get to a top spot in WWE. And last year he was in the main event of WrestleMania, but things kind of didn't really work out as well as a lot of people probably hoped. And The Miz just floundered kind of in the main event spot. And now he's back in the mid-card. And perhaps he's frustrated that he's not in the top spot and he's kind of taken a step back. But if I was him, I would just keep moving forward, keep pushing himself, and perhaps one day he'll get another shot at the top. But I'm okay with his. I think his mic skills are really good compared to a lot of guys in WWE. But compared to some of the guys of the past, I certainly don't see The Miz as one of the top. And in-ring work, he's just average in my opinion. But he tries hard. The thing about The Miz is he always works really hard, and like I said, if he keeps going at it and keeps doing his thing, I think that at some point he'll get another shot at the top. Hey Aaron, I was wondering, what do you think about Jericho's band Fozzy, and do you like their songs? Also, who do you think is a better in-ring wrestler, CM Punk or Chris Jericho? I've heard a little bit of Jericho's band, and they're okay. I mean, they don't blow me away or anything. I think they're fine for what they do. Regarding who's a better in-ring wrestler, I mean, it's hard to say because Chris Jericho has had so many more years under his belt, and Punk is just at the point where he's reaching his peak right now. So I think if you ask me that question another 5 or 10 years from now, I would be better suited to answer it. But I mean, if Punk can even come close to Jericho, then he's going to be one of the best. So let's just put it that way. What's the timeline on Batista's return? Is he holding off until the company changes its rating back to TV 14? He didn't say he didn't like the PG rating. He did say he didn't like the PG rating in the direction WWE was going. I really don't think there is a timetable regarding Batista's return. I think that he's happy doing other things right now, and I think if there's a good opportunity for him to return, that he'll take it. And I'm sure him and WWE still keep in touch and still stay in contact. And it's just waiting for the right time. And I do suspect it'll happen at some point. I mean, I've mentioned this before. Batista's getting up there in age, and there's only so many years he's going to have left to be able to do a main event WWE schedule where he's on the road 250, 300 days of the year, and that's a lot of money when you're a top guy in WWE and you're working all those dates. You're making a killing. So I think Batista will want to come back at some point and try to cash in when his body will still let him. So we'll see. Hey Aaron, why did WWE Heat and Velocity go off the air, and what were your thoughts on the show when it was on the air? WWE Heat was a good show when it first started. It was actually pushed pretty hard, and for a while they were doing really good ratings. I mean, they were up there in like the 5.0 ratings. But eventually WWE just completely gave up on it, and it just interest in it dropped rapidly once WWE stopped pushing it. And same thing with Velocity, although not to the degree of Heat. I mean, Velocity was always kind of like a B show, but for a while Heat was actually like the second show. I think what happened is once SmackDown started, that was really the beginning of the end for Heat. I mean, when Heat first started, it was like the secondary show for WWE, and sometimes they would push Heat on Raw, and then on Heat they would push something for Raw. So yeah, I mean, it was fine for what it was at the time, but WWE just gave up on it. That's the bottom line. All right, that'll do it for today's edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks for watching. As always, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW, and stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you next time.